Hi, this is Zoe and Croeso to my channel again. Croeso is welcome in Welsh, and I live in Wales. So I just want to apologise for not making any videos in a while. I have not been very well, and the video I wanted to make, I just need to do a bit more research. As I said in my first video, I'm going to be very real on my channel, which is why I'm going to explain why I have been absent for a while. I have been doing, well, I've actually just started my trauma stabilization therapy. I don't know, I can't, because I'm at the very beginning of it, I can't really say how it's going. Sorry, I'm a little bit nervous, and someone outside, I don't know if you could hear the beeping, I think someone's car alarm's going off. I'm still getting used to like talking in front of the camera. I'm very new to it, and yes, my roots need doing, but again, I haven't been very well lately. I'll probably explain that in another video about what's been going on. So anyway, to get back on trauma, what I was talking about, trauma stabilization, that is where they talk to you about like trauma and how it affects your brain and your body and coping strategies and things like that. So you're probably I was very indecisive whether I wanted to go into detail of what I needed, like why I needed trauma stabilization, but then I realised I felt like it could help other people, and if I had videos like that where people spoke about their traumas and why and how and things like that, I think it would have helped me a lot if I saw videos like that, but there probably is, and I haven't seen any, but I just thought I'd do it and I'll make my own one in my own way, make it as authentic as I can, and hopefully it could help someone else, help other people. So because my life has been, the first however many years of my life has been very complicated, so I have to do it in stages, and this is where I'm going to be talking a lot about my background and my life story. They will be divided in parts, so this is part one, and they will be in like places that I've lived. So part one is going to be about the first 5 years of my life, and during that time I lived in a place in southeast London called Blackheath, which if you like Google it, it's known for the fireworks display they have every November for Guy Fawkes. If you're not from the UK, Guy Fawkes Day, you have fireworks, or people would have bonfires. I think it's because Guy Fawkes, he was the one who tried to blow up Houses of Parliament centuries ago, and I think he was like burned alive, I can't remember. I love history, but everything's just all scrambled in my brain, thinking like, oh, like, anyway. Anyway, so yeah, and in Blackheath, it's like when you're there, it's like when you're there, it is like a village, and when you're in there, when you're there, you feel like you do not feel like you're in London at all, and it's like you just think, wow, like am I really in London when there's like, and you see red buses everywhere, and yeah, and they have like this big grassland thing with a duck pond, a church. Anyway, just Google Blackheath and you'll find it. It's called Blackheath because of the soil, or it was black or something, like really black. I can't remember exactly, and there is like a myth that it was named something to do with the plague and burials of people who died from the plague. If you Google it, you will see all that information. Yeah. So on 1st of August, 1990, that was when I was born. And interesting facts, I was supposed to be born on 2nd of September, but during that time there was a heat wave. Yeah, so that's why I was born early. And before my mum went into labour with me, my dad went out to get Chinese. And then when he came home, he saw my mum was in labour, and he didn't get to eat his Chinese food. And yeah, so yeah, I did make an entrance. I was almost born in Blackheath as well, but the ambulance got there in time, and then I ended up being born in Lewisham Hospital, which was about 45 minutes away from my house in Blackheath. I can't remember. So yeah. So in my house, and then I was in hospital for 3 weeks. Because I was very small, born 5 weeks early, and then I had to have like a tube through my nose into my stomach. And yep, my mum always used to complain like, oh, I could have been enjoying the summer. I was here for 3 weeks in hospital. Ugh. Anyway, or she would always say, you were supposed to be a Virgo. Yeah. And yeah. So yeah, like in my house it was just me, my mum and my dad. And the day after I was born, I was obviously in hospital. My dad had to go into Lewisham High Street, into Lewisham with his sister, and to get all my baby clothes and everything. Because all they got for me was my stroller. And that was the day before I was born. So yeah, it's like all that time to get everything ready for me. And they weren't really ready. Yeah, my parents are not organised people. Yeah. I think that, yeah. Anyway, my bedroom was fair size. I remember the wallpaper vaguely. Like my memories in that house. I don't have many memories. Because I was there till I was 5. So, in my bedroom, I had wallpaper that had like teddy bears on, and it had it was like a playhouse that was made out of fabric and was put on, like, things you put tents together, and it was made out of plastic or put together on a fabric that looked like a house. I think they call it a Wendy house, I'm not too sure. And I remember having a Raggedy Ann doll. That's one of the toys I do remember. And a rubber duck. Yeah. I don't know what else I remember about the house. I remember my mum and dad, they had photos, these black and white photos of ducks in the pond in Blackheath. So I think that's where I got my love of ducks from. And my earliest memory was when I was about 3 years old, and it was there was this children's, like, young children's show with puppets and this man, and it was called Rainbow. And one of the puppets, I don't know how to describe him. He's like a bear with no ears and a zip on his mouth. And if he was like talking too much, or and he was really annoying, they would just zip his mouth up. And my earliest memory was him having his mouth zipped. If you Google it, or there's clips on YouTube. Yeah. That's... Oh. Yeah, the kindergarten and early school was called John something. It's quite famous, and I think, yeah, if I remember, actually, yeah, Jude Law went to that school when he was a kid, and a few other people, famous people. Yeah, and Glenda Jackson, who was an actress turned MP, which is like Member of Parliament, she lived there as well, and yeah. So it's a nice place to live, but expensive. Yeah. So, actually, I'm just looking at my notes, and it's in this notebook here. Yeah, it's pink with white polka dots. Yeah, I've lost the padlock, but yeah. Oh, I think you just had a little saw peek. Anyway, so yeah, I think another thing that I do remember my mum telling me about was when I was around 3 or something, they took me to some place that had goats, and it ate my bag. And from then, I do not like goats. So that's a random fact. Yeah. And what else? I remember there used to be a lot of people used to visit us. I can't remember their names or anything about them. And I remember one of them had a crossbody bag, and it was black quilted, and it had like a gold chain with like black thread inside. Basically like a really cheap dupe Chanel bag. But I adored it, and I used to always carry it, and every time I would put it around my shoulder. Yeah, my love of handbags came from them. I think that was the origin of it. And then I remember suddenly they stopped coming round. Yeah. What else? I was going to talk about the friends I had. But I think I will not mention them to protect their privacy. And also, I'm not sure they'll remember me. I don't know. I'm just gonna keep that for myself. All I'm gonna say is I will share a lot of things with you, but yeah, there will be some things I'm gonna keep to myself to protect people's privacy, and just because I choose to share things about me on YouTube, I'm not gonna do it about people I know. The reason why I'm talking about my family is because they were part of my trauma, and that's part of my story. But other than that, I probably may or may not share about people. So if you hear me talking about me, it's not because I love to talk about myself all the time. It's because I don't want to drag people in and without their consent, if you know what I mean. Anyway, so that's all cleared up. So when until the age of 3 years old, my mum's mum was in my life, and then she stopped coming round. Years later, I did find out the why, but from the age of 3 till when I did find out, I was just thinking, like, is it something I did or something my parents did? I blamed my mum, and I always wanted to know her and stuff like that, and I always had struggling getting attached to people. Either I struggled or I get too attached, and it definitely affected that. I wouldn't say I was abandoned, but it kind of felt like that. I don't know if it classes that. Yeah. It's I don't normally share that with people. So I don't know how many people this will know about this eventually when I upload it, but yeah. Another memory. I remember staying at my dad's sister's, and when I was about 4 or 5. I remember, yeah, they were a mess of a family. They were like real life Simpsons. My aunt's husband was like a real life Homer Simpson. Yeah. I only liked my cousin, who was the same age as me. I didn't interact with my mum, his older brother, very much. Yeah, I just didn't like being there. I thought it was a madhouse, and I was really uncomfortable, and I was just thinking, I miss my room, I miss my bedroom, I miss all my stuffed animals and my dolls and toys, and then when I was thinking about it, I started crying, and they thought it was, and I was like, I want to go home. I did eventually go home, but my parents and my dad's sister and her husband thought it was because I miss my mum and dad. Like, no. Yeah. My parents' relationship, I remember them arguing at one time. Yeah, and he threw a plate across the living room, and he smashed it against the wall, and it smashed against the wall. Yeah, from then on I did kind of feel uneasy around him. And yeah, um, but there is something else. Um, Actually, now I'm remembering a couple more memories. Yeah, my dad was a bus driver at the time, and I remember going on the bus with my mum when he was driving the bus, and yeah, I had this thing like when I was on a bus or in a car or in my dad's car, I would pretend that I'm driving it. Yeah, it was quirky. Yeah, I think because I think I liked cars then, and I wanted to drive, and yeah, but as an yeah, yeah, that just like popped into my head. Yeah, and at the time my dad had a Ford Sierra, and I think it has like a manufacture date or something, and it was on the same day as my birthday. And yeah, that my mum and dad would always say, "Oh, you and the car's got the same birthday." And my dad would joke like, "Oh, you would get a car air freshener on your birthday, and the car would get presents." Yeah, no, that didn't happen, obviously, but the car got its air freshener. That was the cars I got my presents. So yeah, that's quite cute. Yeah, so yeah, I think I'm just a little bit anxious about talking about this incident. I mean, I have mentioned it before, but yeah, I just feel very uneasy talking about it. But I know that if I don't talk about it, or just I'm just like talking about it online on YouTube, I don't know how many people will hear it, but I'm just gonna do it anyway. So yeah, um, when I was about 4 years old, I don't know what I did. I can't remember exactly. Um, I think I broke something in the bathroom or dropped something. I cannot remember what it was exactly. So I just remember sleeping in my bed, and my dad came like running, like rushing into my bedroom. He dragged me out of bed, threw me on the floor in the hallway, and he had his hands around my neck, and I couldn't breathe. And he was saying like something about the bathroom and everything. I was really scared, and um I think I don't know how long that went on for, but it felt like an hour. Obviously I was 4 years old, so everything felt longer. Um and my mum was in the kitchen, and my dad was shouting and everything. I think that's what caused my mum to um run into the hallway, and he saw like his hands around my neck and everything. He told her, she told him get off, and he did. I was crying, um, and she picked me up, took me into the kitchen, and hugged me. And yeah, um, I was just crying. But my mum, when she hugged me, you know, when you hug someone and it feels good and it feels warm. My mum wasn't like that. Like when when she did hug me very few times, it always felt cold. And her arms, because normally when someone hugs you, their body feels soft and everything, but hers, it just felt stiff. It was like hugging a statue or something. Yeah, you're probably thinking like, did my mum pack? Did we move out of the house after that? No, my mum stayed with him. Yep, and she did for many years. I, I'm not an expert, so if you please like comment or something. Um, um, yeah, like please like comment like if you saw, say you had a child, because I don't have children. Um, like if you, because I know like I would do what I'm gonna about to say. Like if I had a child and saw my, if you had a child and you saw your their other parent, um, almost strangling them, almost murdering them in your house, you and you tell them to get off, then next day you would pack your bags and a bag for your kid and move out and leave them. You wouldn't care what happened or anything. But I don't know, because I know I would do the same, like not because of what happened, but I would have done that if it didn't happen to me and I had a kid. But yeah, um, I did tell someone about that and who knew my, well, knew her a little bit, knew my mum a little bit, and he said that's just her about it. Yeah, I remember 5 years old, we moved out. I think it's because my dad didn't get on with my neighbours. I'm not really sure. But I know he did have trouble with neighbours before. I don't know. Um, yeah, my mind's just a bit blank at the moment. And I feel a little bit lighter, but also I'm feeling very, because I spoke about something that I don't speak about much, and I feel very, yeah, I can't really describe it. But anyway, right, this video is about 27 minutes long. What I'm going to say is, if you find hearing about this has helped you or something like that, I don't know, or anything about my story or anything that you could relate to, please comment. I was going to say, with my channel, please comment, like and subscribe. I will be doing a part 2 soon. Yeah. And if I remember anything else from my childhood, memories are quite blurry. Yeah. So it's time is getting on. Yeah. So bye bye for now, and I'll speak to you next time.